Hola, Animigos, and welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw, but you may know me as @Shashaw.
And I'm your host, David Khourshid, also known as @DavidKPNO.
And right now, we'll be giving a quick overview of the techniques used to build this beautiful animation. Our show is supported by our sponsors, CodePen at codepin.io, CSS Tricks at css-tricks.com, and viewers like you. You can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers. Links are available below.
Yeah, you can watch a full process of us creating this animation from scratch after this with more details about each technique, so stay tuned. If you have any questions, then ask us in the chat or leave a comment and we'll be happy to answer.
Right. So this is obviously a Star Wars inspired animation. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat. Appreciate that. For May the 4th, so Lightsaber Motion by Magic Chin is this beautiful animation. You've got all these little pieces of the lightsaber building in, and then this dramatic activation of the blade. It's really fantastic. So we kind of broke that down and scrubbed through and kind of figured out each little bit, and then recreated that with CSS. So the HTML overall is just kind of a lot because each of those pieces of the lightsaber is a DOM element. We recycled things where we could, like with this metal class that you'll see. That gives it that nice gradient there, which we're using linear gradients for. So our coloring is just set up there. We've got black metal for these little segments, and then copper for this one. And then we're using Flexbox for the layout of all of these elements. So on the whole lightsaber itself, this is actually a full element. If we do the outline there, and then outline on all of the individual pieces, you'll start seeing all those little segments there. So Flexbox is laying those out and helping us just kind of fill all the available space without having to do too many calculations as far as like what each segment exactly needs to be. So like pommel cap, we've got a basic width there and the grip, and especially for all these little segments, so we don't have to focus too much on getting the exact sizing to add up to 100% or use some specific units or anything. So that's super helpful. If you're not into Flexbox, check it out and learn it. It's really great for like a linear layout along like one axis. Yeah. So next, how are we actually all animating all of this? You wanna break that down a little bit, David?
Sure. So basically we had two options. We could have either done a big like 14-second or 10-second long keyframe animation for each one and adjusted the specific percentage of the keyframes just for everything to coordinate together, or because this is what I like to call sort of a linear, just a very straightforward animation, we decided to use animation delay instead. But we didn't use animation delay just by saying animation delay on each of the elements. Instead, we are actually using CSS variables. So we have a _ delay variable on each of the elements that we want to animate. And you see that we're sharing all of these animation styles with each of them. And we're taking that delay as well as the duration and the ease, which is this aggressive cubic Bezier function, and fill mode both, just so that everything hides at the beginning and shows instead of having it appear right at the beginning. Now, by adjusting the delay, we could choreograph each of the animations to happen at a specific time and even overlap each other. Where it gets a little bit tricky is where we're doing where we're animating each of the segments, because we want sort of a staggered animation. Thankfully, with the help of CSS variables, we could additionally add this ~i variable, which is present in the HTML. And that gives us the index of each one of those segments that we're animating. And so you could have like 0, 1, or 2. Now, when you multiply that with a fixed interval, such as 0.05 seconds, you're going to get a staggered effect. So the first one will appear at 2.25 seconds. The next one will appear at 2.3 seconds, and so on. It just adds and you get that cool staggered in and out effect. We have different keyframes for depending on whether we want them to come from the top or come from the bottom, such as slide up and slide down. And those are just your normal transform animations for translating Y, coming from up or down. And same thing with enter and enter reverse. We're using translate X to have that come in from the left or the right. There's also, there's a lot of animation stuff to cover here. The lightsaber animation, that's where it gets a little bit different. This is the only one that we wanted to make a full, this is actually a 10-second long keyframe animation. And that's because the entire lightsaber moves while we're animating all of the other bits in. Now, to make the calculations easier for us over here, I just set a value of 10 seconds for the total duration. And so 22% corresponds to 2.2 seconds, 30% corresponds to 3 seconds, and so on. So we were able to choreograph these with the exact delays that we have for each of the individual elements. And with that, that's how you get the cool movement of translate X, and it's shifting as the parts come in, and then it's shooting off and sort of zooming out once the lightsaber blade actually is emitted.
Right, and if we kind of hide those keyframes for a second, you can see how it's just building in, and everything's just kind of centered around this this hilt.
Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah,
let's make it jazzy.
So by using those transform offsets, it really helps kind of sell the impact of each of those pieces coming in a really nice way, especially once the blade comes in. That's really nice. And then for the just final little finish on the animation, we've got this lightsaber out that just makes it spin around at the very end, just as a nice little extra flourish. For the glow there, one more little touch with that. It's just box shadow, and we've got two separate little elements in the blade for glow and glow large that just give kind of two different levels of that. This glow large is the one giving most of that effect there. So yeah, that's how to do a lightsaber animation with CSS.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing, we use viewport units because this lightsaber is responsive. Try it out.
It sure is. If you need a pocket lightsaber, you got one right there.
Yep, it's responsive to force commands.
Yeah, it's super cool. I really like the way this one came together. Nice work. Well, don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, the full process of creating this animation is coming up after this, so stay tuned.
Yeah. Hey, also, if you've enjoyed this episode and you would like to see more, you could subscribe by pledging at patreon.com/keyframers.
Do it. And all of our videos are available at youtube.com/keyframers. We've got so much great content there, so subscribe to our channel. And thank you all so much for watching. Adios, amigos.
Adios.
Hola, amigos, and welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw, but you may know me as @Shashaw.
And I'm your host, David Khourshid, also known as @DavidKPNO.
Together, we are coding compadres, animation amigos, Boolean buddies, and keyframe companions.
Yeah, so we are going to be doing a Star Wars themed animation from scratch live using HTML and CSS today. And we're happy to answer any questions you may have or Star Wars trivia or whatever. So please reach out in the chat or the comments.
Please. Yes, may the 4th be with you, David. You doing anything special to celebrate other than this animation?
Good question. No. Not exactly. Actually, I do have a Millennium Falcon Lego set waiting to be built. So
nice. Life size or to scale?
No, not the huge one. No, okay. That's do you know how expensive that is? No, I'm not. Nah, the smaller one.
Nice. Well, that sounds like a good way to celebrate. Well, yeah, let's take a look at this animation.
Yeah.
So lightsaber slash motion, is that supposed to be motion? I assume.
Probably. Yeah, we're going to go with it. This is an animation from 2019 by a designer by the name of Magic Chen. Don't know if that is their real name, but yeah, there we go. We found this really cool. In fact, they do a lot of really awesome illustrations. I think this is one of their only animations, and I really liked the whole choreography of it, building the lightsaber together, and finally just the blade shooting out and illuminating the entire background. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
So many nice little touches to this build in, and then yeah, the final glow is really nice. That'll be fun. Yeah. So this one we're trying to do CSS only here. So all of these little bits and pieces that are coming in, I'm just inspecting the element in QuickTime, kind of frame by frame here. All these little elements are just going to be individual DOM elements for the most part. We'll have to work on coordinating those animations to get them to build in properly, and yeah, should be fun.
Yeah. So what I'm doing, I don't know if you're in the team help you, but I am trying to faithfully, or as faithfully as I can, recreate Luke Skywalker's original lightsaber. And so this is the outline of what I have so far. All of it, all that's left is just filling in the pieces, and of course the animation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep chugging away at building this lightsaber, but all the pieces are pretty much there.
Okay, so let's say pommel cap. Which part is that?
That's the bottom. Okay.
So this over here, and then
I had to research this. You know,
you don't have a handy reference card or anything?
I do not.
All right. So the grip is just kind of that main silver part with the little on switch, I assume. And then the hilt is going to be that kind of really segmented part.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's see, the focusing ring, of course. Yes. Thank you for getting the proper terminology here.
I tried.
And
so
blade,
each of the hilts have segments. I'm not sure if that is the correct name for those. Basically, that's you don't touch that. It looks like a place where you could grip the lightsaber, but that's not to be touched.
No, I don't think you want that, unless you want to. If you want to keep your fingers, that is.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So you've got a little bit of layout here. Lightsaber. Got display flex. That makes sense. Lining item center, and then you've given everything an outline just so we can kind of follow along.
Yeah.
So the pommel cap,
wow.
We've got 90%. Let's do background red just so we're clear on what this element is. Oh, are you doing it reversed?
Yeah, just because I was going based on illustration, but we could flip this around with row reverse, I think. Let's see if that. Yeah, row reverse. Are you happy now?
Yes,
are you happy now?
I am happier. Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, so the grip, the width of that is a little more, let's say.
Yeah, and you could adjust those easily. I made it so that it all adds up to like 100, but yeah, we could definitely adjust and do whatever we need to do there. Definitely some room to tweak, that's for sure.
Okay. Notice you're not using M's for sizing, so.
No, why would I do that?
Right, and then, so what's the green bit? The green bit is the actual blade?
Yeah, the green bit's going to be the blade. And so that's what's going to shoot out at the end of this animation. So all of the parts come together, and this is very similar to the last few videos that we've done where we did choreographed animations and just trying to get everything animating in one smooth motion, or as if it was one smooth motion rather than otherwise. But yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do start doing some color setup here.
All right,
and I'll just do that with specific classes so that we can kind of add those easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the metal, we've got that nice silver gradient, and then black metal, and then copper.
Let's see.
Okay, all of that should be the bulk of them. All right, so let's see. Metal, do background, gradient to bottom.
Select, left 0. Yeah, looks like we're going to have a lot of keyframes for this one, just because.
So how are you planning on setting up the animation?
That's a good question. I haven't thought that far. Well, so the way things appear, in the animation that I'm looking at, it's sort of just they come in all the same way. So we could ideally just, except for the sections within the hilts, we could just have the same keyframe animation and just change the delays for each of those.
Yeah,
and that would work out pretty well. What do you think?
I think that can work.
I have a black thing. I just don't know if it's really that visible. Let's see, constant position absolute. Although I've learned is you don't need display block if you have position absolute. That sort of means display block. That's a bit of trivia that I learned a while ago. Yeah. Yellow, just to find out where that thing is. Okay, so yeah, it is in the middle. Perfect. Maybe I just can't tell the difference between that. Oh wait, I didn't put it as black yet. So background's black. And of course, we're not using black. I'm just doing rough colors here so that we could, get that all set up. And yeah. So I guess, are you, just for reference, you're using the colors from the animation, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So that we could have the same color scheme.
Yeah.
The only thing is, actually, no. Yeah, it's fine. There's going to be a couple differences, like that control panel at the top has sort of a gold border, like very, very tiny differences. But
right.
I'm just more or less the same.
Yeah, I'm applying them.
It must be pixel perfect, or else. Okay, yeah. We're using linear gradients in order to do these. And once you get used to doing these CSS drawings in linear gradient, a lot of these things sort of become, just really natural and intuitive to do. Something that still gets me is radial gradients. Linear gradients, I could code myself out of a hole with, but radial gradients, or whatever it's called, that one is still pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah, the syntax of them always trips me up a little bit.
Yeah.
Segments.
All right, so while you're working that color, I'm going to work on the color of the blade, just because I really want to. And actually, this should be the way that this lightsaber is constructed here. We're using Flexbox, and so that way I could just do a line item center, and then they all just perfectly align, so we don't have to do any of that weird pixel pushing that you would have to do with normal CSS illustrations. So that's pretty helpful there. Background, linear gradient. Yeah, so if you're learning linear gradient, all you have to do is say which direction the linear gradient is going to go. So just imagine an arrow where you have a start color and you have an end color, or possibly more than 2 colors, and you're saying, okay, this is going to go from the top to the bottom. So you literally just type from top to bottom, right? Or no, to bottom. So you don't type the from top because that's implied. But anyway, you take the from top off and then you just say to bottom. And then you could say like green, white, green, and boom, there we go. It's not perfect. Those aren't the exact colors that we're going to use, but by the way, while I'm blabbing, I found a color picker that was actually recommended that I really like. It's called Contrast. Have you heard of it?
No, I don't think I've used that one.
Yeah, no, it's a really great color picker because it also tells you like if 2 colors are the appropriate, accessibility contrast. So, yeah.
Okay, I've removed your before and after on the segment bit in favor of making them with the actual like metal class, and that'll make them easier to animate anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Just go ahead and undo all my work. No, just kidding. All right. Now for the fun parts. Let's see. By the way, if you look on CodePen for Lightsaber, if you're feeling inspired, all of you watching, there are some really, really good, especially like pure CSS lightsabers out there.
Yeah.
But ours will be animated. That's the difference. But yeah. I'm even looking at a couple right now just for glow inspiration. My hunch is you could just do like a box shadow, and that's probably going to be fine.
I would recommend just a separate element for that with like a radial gradient or something, or just a blur filter on it, and then we animate the opacity.
Yeah, glad you told me. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. Whatever did happen to my background? It's not showing for the lightsaber.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did I break it? Oh, yes, I did. That was me. Boom, lightsaber on. And the height should probably be like 7% or something like that. Yep, because then we're going to have a glow. So separate elements, you're saying?
Yeah, I think
all right,
so.
I'm gonna call it glow. And that's going to be 100%, and then we're going to have a let's see. Oh wait, no. Let's see. Shadow. Box shadow 0 0. Are we using M's? No,
I'm not using M's anywhere.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think we're just sticking to yes.
Nice glow.
All right. Yeah, I should probably put this in a CSS variable. So I'm just going to put this in the root. Lightsaber color, and this is going to be the color of Luke's lightsaber. Okay.
Oh, that's what I'm missing.
And then the z-index of this should probably be, well, actually, we'll just do the blade emitter. That's going to be z1, being conservative with my z-index. And that seemed to work, so no problems there. What does flex 0 do again?
Basically tells it not to resize.
Yeah, I always get tripped up by the shorthand for all of those.
Yeah. I'll just let the browser handle it automatically. We'll get too into it there.
Fair.
All right, so we've got the rings there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 12. I think we need one more. All right, and so the focusing ring.
Sorry, I made it small. There we go.
That's the blade.
Oh, right. Now to the controls.
Ring. We've got a segment. Black metal in the middle.
That glow is pretty bright. I think that they're yeah. Just thinking about other elements. Actually, all right, so one really funny thing about this animation is that there's a shadow behind the blade, which doesn't make sense because it is a lightsaber. There should be absolutely no shadow, but there should be a shadow on the overall lightsaber. That makes sense, but the blade, not so much.
Oh yeah, there's another segment that's copper here. Let's go back a little bit to how it builds in. Okay.
I guess we could the lightsaber handle is centered, and I did that just because in the original animation, when all the parts come together,
right,
then then the lightsaber comes together. So, I mean, that should be fine for now, actually. So then we have border top right radius. No, not bottom right radius W. Then we could just say border inherit on the glow. Nice. These colors are looking nice.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yep. All right. Thinking about the animation. So just while you're doing that, we have first the blade comes in, or sorry, the whatever I called it, the the pommel cap.
Yeah.
I guess that's
well. Actually, the grip is first.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, no, I guess you're right. Yeah. The pommel cap comes in.
So yeah, pommel cap. So I guess it does go from bottom to top. We have the pommel cap, the grip, and then all of the little segments come in and they sort of alternate, which is pretty cool. And then the and then the other pieces come in one by one, and then you have a little bit of delay, and then you have the lightsaber there. Let me just finish these controls first. Almost forgot about those. Luke's controls. So. That should be probably the same as whatever you have for the rest of the stuff. So metal, black metal, copper. For the grip, where is that linear gradient?
They're all up at the up towards the top. I've got metal, black metal, and copper
okay. So that would be that'd be metal. So I could just add controls metal, and wow, there you go. What is this, Tailwind? Jeez. And so controls, we could do for background with gold. And we have that up there, which is great. So keep that 10%. Just so it's a little bit more clear. Cool. And we don't need the outline for this anymore. So there's the controls. All right. Cool. Now to add some little things in the controls, or think about the animation.
Yeah, I'd say we'll get to the animation here. I'm just trying to get all the individual pieces
right.
At least in a workable state.
Mm-hmm. So it's 2 buttons, and yeah, man, this is what I really like about Flexbox. To do the controls, I don't want to position them like make them pixel perfect, so I'm just going to use Flexbox and see what happens. Flex, direction, row, and then I could say justify content space around, and then things just work. So it's pretty great. Button 5% with 5%. Just kidding, that didn't work.
Close so far.
Why didn't that work? We have, because I didn't align item center. That's why. And then before should be position absolute. So 100%. The way that position absolute works has been a little tricky. I wish I had more clear guidance into when you do position absolute, it is still positioned as if it's part of the normal flow sometimes. So for example, what I did just now is I had a flex, like a line item center, and my before, even though it's position absolute, it was centered because I didn't specify which position it should be. I didn't specify like bottom 100% left, whatever. So it just said, well, I'll be centered for now. And I don't know why that is.
Well, it's just like unless you override it, it's going to still kind of adhere to its place in the document.
I guess that makes sense.
I have to add a little rounding there. That looks pretty good.
These buttons are huge.
All right. Gonna go ahead and say we'll do all the animation stuff down at the bottom. Let's do it separately from all the layout stuff just to keep it clean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That blade looks so nice.
It does.
Why are you using viewport units?
Yeah, trying something different.
Ay.
All right, just going to be lazy with this so we can get to animating. We're going to have a button up and a button down, and down will just be red. Just make it red. And there we go. Actually, that is a very bright red. I don't really like that red.
Yeah.
This is what kills productivity, just me not being satisfied with colors. And it's funny, like I'm sure back in the day when these CSS colors were made, they made sense for the limited colors that you could display on screens, but they are just the worst colors.
They aren't great, but I do appreciate how many named colors there are.
Yeah. It is nice. I just wish that there were a halfway decent color scheme for all of those named colors, you know?
Yes.
All right. I think this is at a good place to get animating.
Yes. Controls. Just trying to get most of our elements together here. So we'll mostly be animating segments of these elements. Blade emitter is also segments. Blade emitter. There we go. And then our actual blade. And the blade glow.
Yeah, lots of things. In fact, it's probably a little bit more probably a little bit more detailed than the original animation.
Yeah. All right. So for the individual piece animations, are you wanting to go with a like everything is the same duration and we're just messing with keyframes, or should we just use animation delay offsets?
I think that's a good question. I think this is simple enough that what we could do is just animation delay offsets and do your little clicking the body trick to restart it.
Yes. Yeah, okay, that's the main killer with using CSS animation delay offsets is you can't loop the animation easily. So it looks like we're looking at about 14 seconds for the total duration.
Okay, wow, that is long, but that makes sense. So it's good.
Let's see.
From to, yeah, but I told everyone that it would be CSS only. That's okay.
Well, that's just an added feature. It's not.
Okay.
The animation itself is not dependent on that. It's a progressive enhancement, David.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, so we've got our duration there. And the overall lightsaber element, we don't need to animate till later. That's going to be more when the blade is coming in. So I'll move that down here. Let's see. Yeah, you're going to add the ease there. All right, so pommel cap. Let's say animation. Pommel in. We'll do. How do you want to handle the durations for those?
For what?
For the individual pieces, just do them by ear, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be best.
Let's see.
So I'm gonna also have. So right now I have 3 animations: enter, slide down, and slide up. Slide down and slide up being self-explanatory for the segment stuff, and then enter being for pretty much everything else.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Animation enter. Enter, 1 second. Ease. We'll do both. Now the pommel cap needs to do enter reverse because it's don't know why you insist on specifying a to state.
I just like being explicit. I don't trust any programming
This is
language.
a family-friendly stream, David. You cannot be explicit. Okay, and this is the direction. All right, and so we also need to do like an opacity on those.
Yeah.
And then
nice.
And then we can make it fade in a little bit sooner. Opacity 1.
Same thing with the others.
Yeah, if they're doing a fade in, and honestly, that could be its own animation. To make it simpler.
Yeah. All right, so 2, 7, make that a little bit more aggressive.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna separate that into its own little animation. Keyframes, fade in from opacity 0.
Actually, ideally, what we could do is just have a CSS variable for pretty much everything that's for the animation duration, and then just change that variable for each of those. So I'll go ahead or you're doing that. Yep, animation or delay. Right. Yeah.
And honestly, all the rest of this can be set as well. Animation duration or duration, and then we override.
And then so for the pommel cap, all we have to really do is say delay 0 seconds. Yeah.
And then we'll just say animation name.
What else do we need? Direction, duration, delay, timing function, etc., etc. That should be good.
I think that's about right.
We have delay, duration, boom. All right, so we could copy pause and start. Like let's try this out. If I have grip here and I want that to happen after 1 second, whoa.
Yeah, this one will be enter.
Right. So I thought I had animation direction both. It's just being weird.
Yeah. So part of it is you need to add fade in. Well, okay. So animation name enter. Yeah, that is strange. Let's see. Yeah, we got enter here from like X var delay 0 seconds, var delay 1 second.
Do you think it's because we didn't specify the 2?
Oh no, so it's not animation direction both, it's animation fill mode.
Oh geez. Wow. It's been such a long time since I used the actual full thing. There we go. Okay, yep. Shaw to the rescue.
Okay. There was something I was gonna do. Yeah, I don't know.
And this is actually cool because I could say a delay of 1.5 seconds and say instead of entering, I want it to slide up and fade in. So it'll do that as the other one enters. Except the Z index is wrong. But
yeah.
that's okay. We can fix that.
Easy enough. All right. And so, all right. So for the hilt segments, this is where it starts to get fun. So we'll do that for now. Okay. So yes, that works. But
yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going to do. So I was going to do repeat. No, play. Do my little. All right. So this is fun. You can replay the animation by clicking. Or you can play or pause by just doing a key press so that you can kind of inspect different parts of the of the CSS animation. That's a fun new addition. So I've added that in the JavaScript right now, so that should work. All right, so in the hilt. So we've got all these segments. We need to add the indexes so that we can more easily calculate the delay. So let me do multi-cursor here. It's a fun feature. Too many cursors. Okay, there we go.
Curse the cursors.
For now, and then we'll say one.
All right, the new thing that's upsetting me is the controls appearing above the thing. Even though I put C index -1, apparently that doesn't work. So
yeah, it might be because of the background. Like it's still above the background technically.
Yeah, but apparently the way to make that work, looking on the old Stack Overflow, is set a negative Z index for the child and remove the one that's set on the parent. So there isn't any set on the parent. However, let's see. Change Z index of this wrapper to 10. Weird. Wrapper, parents, child.
Aha.
Weird. Okay. Nice. Except we want them alternating, no?
Alternating.
Yeah, look at the animation. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right. So what we would do in that case is nth child even animation name, slide down, fade in, bam. Did you already set up a slide down keyframe? Okay, good.
Yes. I got you.
Yeah, and so we can actually make this a little bit, the fading a little bit longer there.
Fine, I give up. For the controls, I'm going to do a slide down. Like they just pop on.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the rest of the animation is. So
yeah, we don't want to deviate too much. So let's see, controls. Where did I hard code gold? That needs to go.
All right, and so the focusing ring, this is where we'll do the same kind of thing. We need to
not the color.
add the one, two.
All right, so the box shadow is being problematic because I set it on the entire lightsaber. Or maybe it's an artistic thing. No, let's get rid of it.
What's happening?
I have a box shadow on the entire lightsaber. So I'm just going to put that on the on each individual element instead. There we go. Nice. Oh wait, no, it's still being weird. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to
no box shadow.
No box shadow. I'm going to copy it though. So if any elements wanted, I could just plop them on because it does make sense for some of those elements. Let's see, background like the pommel cap, copy paste you, grip, copy paste you, hilt, maybe not. Yeah, not the hilts.
A CMJ.io, I believe, just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate that.
So how do you feel about the very aggressive 200% thing? That was my bad. I'm going to turn that to 100 and make that a little bit more subtle. Or maybe even, no, we'll keep that. We could tweak later. So yeah, right now we have like duration 1 second, delay 1 second, etc. The cool thing about using CSS variables that I just realized, if we want to speed up this animation, we don't need to change the delays at all, because we could just use calc in animation delay to do that.
Yep.
Something true. I just realized. So
yep.
That's pretty cool. In fact, I'm going to see.
Okay, let's this one. Bump that up a little bit. What are you doing with
Oh, I'm just changing the delays. Yeah, calc var 0. Okay, cool.
So yeah, what I'd recommend in that case is up here in like 192, doing a calc var delay times 0.5 or something like that, and you could do the same with var duration to speed things up.
Okay.
All right, so the focusing ring needs to be a little slower there. Yeah, I like this way of setting up the delays and the duration, all that. Just makes it so much simpler to coordinate all of this.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. I guess we're experimenting with different ways of just crafting these animations, and that feels pretty nice. 10%. All right, so how many seconds is the total duration? We have a duration of, well, I guess it doesn't really say. We'll say 10 seconds. So that would mean that at 10%, we have turns of X 10%, turns of X, maybe like 100%. Let's see what that does. So animation. Oh, Saber. So first, sorry, I broke something.
That might have been
no.
Me. Yeah, let's see.
Cool. Just getting some overall lightsaber movement in there.
Huh, that's weird. Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, interesting. Why aren't the things going up and down?
Yeah, it's I'm messing with the.
Is that something that I did?
No, no.
Here, let me get rid of the overall lightsaber.
No. It's fine. It's something.
Oh no! See now it works when I don't, but when I do,
change it back. Yeah, see, it was something I was doing.
Aha! It was your fault. Perfect.
Something like that. All right. Oh, that's what it. Yeah. I understand. Okay. Got all those parts coming in pretty well. Let's see. Let's speed that up.
What is the delay for the lightsaber shooting out? And how are you doing that? Let me see. Oh, it's just coming in. What if we did like a scale X for that one?
Yeah, I was just adding the animation to
cool.
Getting it coordinated.
Nice. All right, so that lightsaber, the blade, yeah, that's where you have that. Blade happens at delay calc math. Trying to figure out the math here. What is this number, Shaw? 4 seconds plus var I.
Where? Oh, so that's just that's for the staggering. So if you look on like 228,
I was like, calculus was so many years ago. I don't know how to. All right, so in 4 seconds, that's when the blade comes in. Cool. 10, so 40%. This is going to be so cool if it works. Transform, translate, X, like 10% just to get it cool. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Or maybe I just have the timing off. Let's find out. Yeah, so what I want to do is like just shoot off, like, yeah, once it has that lightsaber. You see that?
On, let's see. On like the lightsaber itself.
Yeah. So right now the choreography works. Boom.
Yeah, it should be a little more dramatic than that.
Fine. How about, well, what we could do is change the easing curve too and make it just super aggressive. And that's why I really like using, you can't really do debug mode when you're collaborating, can you?
Debug mode? Yeah, you can. You just here, I've saved it, so it should be up to date.
Never mind. I only did that so I have the animation panel open.
Yeah.
So I could see what's going on because the animation panel is super cool. And so, like Shaw said, we want that to be a much more aggressive animation when it actually like shoots off. So,
that's my bad.
Why did you? Yeah. So what I was thinking was just playing around with that cubic Bezier. So, animation timing function, and then we could do sort of a cubic Bezier. Please wait. Well, I figured this out. This is why I really love the DevTools, because you could just you have that cubic Bezier editor in there, which is super awesome. So I'm gonna play. Oh wait, you can't drag the handles. Okay, wait, no, you can. I lied.
Bless you.
Thank you. 1 0. 0.5001. I love these even numbers. Okay, cool. Or not even, but just nice round numbers. 0.5001. Check this out. Timing's off.
Timing is a little off, yeah.
It has to be at 40. So each one of those percents corresponds to seconds. So 40 would mean 4 seconds, which is right when the light comes in.
We want that a little sooner, I think. No.
Oh, but now the light comes in at what, 5 seconds? Is that the delay that you put?
It's 4.5.
Okay,
so
cool.
45. Nice. Okay. It seems like it needs to shift over and scale down a little bit, because I'm not getting the full blade in the.
You're not getting the, you don't feel the force.
No, I don't have a...
Okay, so like 0.6 maybe, like have a really, really, yeah. All right.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
0.7.
I really like that. That's awesome.
That came together really nicely. Came together. Is there an outline on the blade still? Yeah, I think you still have that.
Is there? Wow. I am embarrassed that I did not catch that.
Where is it? Did you already remove it? Oh no, there it is.
Nope.
Got that. And then there's a large glow as well that I'd love to do. So glow. Wait, what are you doing with the before on glow?
I'll show you. Oh wait, what am I doing? No, all right. So I just inherited the border radius, and I'm also going to inherit. Wow, what is that happening down there? Box shadow. Inherit that as well, and just like scale the bejesus out of it. So transform, scale, like.
See, I was just gonna. I just did a separate glow element in there, and was going added a class large. That can make it. Yeah.
Perfect. Ship it. Okay, so what were you doing? Because my technique.
Yeah. So
it is cool. It is cool, but not exactly what we want.
Large, and then the box shadow will be 0, like 30 VW. Something like that.
Yeah. And then what we could do for are you doing the flickering already?
I added I haven't animated that yet. But I just added that.
Here,
Ooh, yeah.
Keyframes. Flicker.
Nice.
And so we could just say from 2 and just change what, the opacity or what? No, not the opacity really. Yeah.
It'd be opacity.
And then so 50% opacity, like 0.9. We barely want to have any sort of glow. And then flicker is an image service. So we could say animation name.
Blade glow. I actually don't even really need the fade in because it's fading in with the blade itself.
I think we need a z-index that glow. It's a bit out there.
Let's just say let's do that, and then 0.5, and then what we'll do up here is we can fade out the larger glow. Be like opacity 0.
I'm getting some artifacts. It's a little bit weird.
All right,
not sure what that is.
Ancient relics, some Kyber crystals, maybe.
Movie.
I'm getting that too. It's probably to do with the scaling and the.
Yeah. Oops. 2. Okay, so we have enter fade in. And then the focusing ring. That's what you did. Okay, so the focusing ring and then the plate in there. So that happens when does the focusing ring happen? It says 2.25 seconds. I'm guessing this stuff's unnecessary.
Sorry, where are you?
The focusing ring.
No, that's for the segments.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it happens after 2.25. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to.
And then we have 3 seconds. That makes sense. That is some smart math you have going on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is essentially the initial delay, and then these are the staggered delays there. Could do that in a slightly different way, but it's pretty good. So
yeah.
Oh, and for flicker, we want to do animation what is it? Oh, sorry, I covered up my head there. And animation iteration count, yeah. Animation iteration count infinite, and the actual duration we just want to be like 5 seconds or something. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We can add a few more keyframes to that. Basically, 1 second, like 2 seconds. Just make it a little slower. 70%. Sorry.
So what happens again? 2.25 seconds and 3 seconds. Okay, and 3. So we could do percent transform x negative 15%. We could adjust those values. So basically, in the original animation, you have the blade, or yeah, you have the entire lightsaber sort of shifting, where we're not doing that drastic of a thing over here, but we are going to do some sort of subtle effect every time a piece comes in. And so that's what I added over there. I have like 15%. We'll make it a little bit more drastic, so 40. And so it's going to shoot from negative 40% to 100% once the... Yeah?
Yep. That's pretty good there.
Yeah. Digging it.
Yeah, occasionally getting some artifacts, but that's
yeah, we'll just
kind
have
of,
to...
it's browser rounding errors essentially, or browser like compositing errors. But yeah, dang, that looks good.
I'm really digging that.
And let me just try one more thing here. All right, let's see.
Control button before this is our goal. Let's make that like 20%. There we go. Well, if we made the lightsaber keyframe more colored. See, I don't even know if lightsabers come in that color. They probably do.
That's pretty awesome.
Nice. Zoom. Need some sound effect.
Oh, I need to change the duration of that. That's why it's...
Just have the lightsaber fall into the abyss. Or you could have that like, just be really fast and go zoom, zoom.
Right. I was just trying to make it spin a little bit.
Nice. I like it. It reminds me of... have you ever played those Star Wars games like Jedi Academy, Jedi Knights, all of that? Of course,
yeah.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of.
All right, so let's see. All right, that should be the final touch, and then we can wrap it up. I'll speed that up a little bit more still.
I'm using your delay trick for the control buttons because the controls come in at 1 second, so we want the buttons to be staggered as well. And we want them to probably just scale in. So
where are you? Animating the buttons down here.
And yeah, just a nice little touch from transform scale 0. One of the nicest but simplest animations, transform scale 1. Just scale 0 to 1 and you're good. Yeah, you already have that animation duration delay. So controls for the button, we could just say animation name, scale up, or I call it scale in.
So you can just add the index to them here, and you don't need to do any nth childing.
Oh, okay. Well, that works.
So
dot button.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. That didn't quite work.
It did not.
It did. It just, you could barely see it.
Well, so the delay probably needs to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice. Okay, and the duration, yeah, make it nice and snappy. So now let's check that out. Beautiful.
Super cool.
Okay, yeah. It's feeling really good. Like
really
the spin
is.
at the end.
It really is. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think we should wrap it up here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. So for those of you watching live, stay with us. We're doing the animation overview. We're doing something different with the YouTube video. So this actually becomes the first segment. But David, what all do we need to control to cover here? So we want to look at.
I'm going to say the main parts are using CSS variables for animation duration and delay, the staggered animations, and yeah, that's good.
Okay. We can cover Flexbox just slightly.
Yeah.
For those segments and things, just to help highlight that. And yeah, I think that's good for a little overview. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, here we go. Let me get ready to restart it here. Hola, Animigos, and welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw, but you may know me as @Shashaw.
And I'm your host, David Khourshid, also known as @DavidKPNO.
And right now, we'll be giving a quick overview of the techniques used to build this beautiful animation. Our show is supported by our sponsors, CodePen at codepin.io, CSS Tricks at css-tricks.com, and viewers like you. You can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers. Links are available below.
Yeah, you can watch a full process of us creating this animation from scratch after this with more details about each technique, so stay tuned. If you have any questions, then ask us in the chat or leave a comment and we'll be happy to answer.
Right. So this is obviously a Star Wars inspired animation. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat. Appreciate that. For May the 4th, so Lightsaber motion by Magic Chin is this beautiful animation. You've got all these little pieces of the lightsaber building in, and then this dramatic activation of the blade. It's really fantastic. So we kind of broke that down and scrubbed through and kind of figured out each little bit, and then recreated that with CSS. So the HTML overall is just kind of a lot because each of those pieces of the lightsaber is a DOM element. We recycled things where we could, like with this metal class that you'll see. That gives it that nice gradient there, which we're using linear gradients for. So our coloring is just set up there. We've got black metal for these little segments, and then copper for this one. And then we're using Flexbox for the layout of all of these elements. So on the whole lightsaber itself, this is actually a full element. If we do the outline there, and then outline on all of the individual pieces, you'll start seeing all those little segments there. So Flexbox is laying those out and helping us just kind of fill all the available space without having to do too many calculations as far as like what each segment exactly needs to be. So like pommel cap, we've got a basic width there in the grip, and especially for all these little segments, so we don't have to focus too much on getting the exact sizing to add up to 100% or use some specific units or anything. So that's super helpful. If you're not into Flexbox, check it out and learn it. It's really great for like a linear layout along like one axis.
Yeah.
So next, how are we actually all animating all of this? You wanna break that down a little bit, David?
Sure. So basically we had two options. We could have either done a big like 14-second or 10-second long keyframe animation for each one and adjusted the specific percentage of the keyframes just for everything to coordinate together. Or because this is what I like to call sort of a linear, just a very straightforward animation, we decided to use animation delay instead. But we didn't use animation delay just by saying animation delay on each of the elements. Instead, we are actually using CSS variables. So we have a double dash delay variable on each of the elements that we want to animate. And you see that we're sharing all of these animation styles with each of them. And we're taking that delay as well as the duration and the ease, which is this aggressive cubic Bezier function, and fill mode both, just so that everything hides at the beginning and shows instead of having it appear right at the beginning. Now, by adjusting the delay, we could choreograph each of the animations to happen at a specific time and even overlap each other. Where it gets a little bit tricky is where we're doing where we're animating each of the segments, because we want sort of a staggered animation. Thankfully, with the help of CSS variables, we could additionally add this double dash I variable, which is present in the HTML. And that gives us the index of each one of those segments that we're animating. And so you could have like 0, 1, or 2. Now, when you multiply that with a fixed interval, such as 0.05 seconds, you're going to get a staggered effect. So the first one will appear at 2.25 seconds, the next one will appear at 2.3 seconds, and so on. It just adds, and you get that cool staggered in and out effect. We have different keyframes for depending on whether we want them to come from the top or come from the bottom, such as slide up and slide down. And those are just your normal transform animations. We're translating Y, coming from up or down. And same thing with enter and enter reverse. We're using translate X to have that come in from the left or the right. There's also, there's a lot of animation stuff to cover here. The lightsaber animation, that's where it gets a little bit different. This is the only one that we wanted to make a full, this is actually a 10-second long keyframe animation. And that's because the entire lightsaber moves while we, while we're animating all of the other bits in. Now, to make the calculations easier for us over here, I just set a value of 10 seconds for the total duration. And so 22% corresponds to 2.2 seconds, 30% corresponds to 3 seconds, and so on. So we were able to choreograph these with the exact delays that we have for each of the individual elements. And with that, that's how you get the cool movement of translate X, and it's shifting as the parts come in, and then it's shooting off and sort of zooming out once the lightsaber blade actually is emitted.
Right, and if we kind of hide those keyframes for a second, you can see how it's just building in, and everything's just kind of centered around this this hilt.
Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah.
Let's make it jazzy.
So by using those transform offsets, it really helps kind of sell the impact of each of those pieces coming in a really nice way, especially once the blade comes in. That's really nice. And then for the just final little finish on the animation, we've got this lightsaber out that just makes it spin around at the very end, just as a nice little extra flourish. Yeah, for the glow there, one more little touch with that. It's just box shadow, and we've got two separate little elements in the blade for glow and glow large that just give kind of two different levels of that. This glow large is the one giving most of that effect there. So yeah, that's how to do a lightsaber animation with CSS.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing, we use viewport units because this lightsaber is responsive. Try it out.
It sure is. You know, if you need a pocket lightsaber, you got one right there.
Yep, it's responsive to force commands.
Yeah, it's super cool. I really like the way this one came together. Nice work. Well, don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, the full process of creating this animation is coming up after this, so stay tuned.
Yeah. Hey, also, if you've enjoyed this episode and you would like to see more, you could subscribe by pledging at patreon.com/keyframers.
Do it. And all of our videos are available at youtube.com/keyframers. We've got so much great content there, so subscribe to our channel. And thank you all so much for watching. Adios, amigos.
Adios.